big old question, because I think it's an exciting thing. And it's the title of our topic, it's the title of our discussion. What is it like being a professional dancer?
11 to 2, we go, or 11:30 to 2, we go into rehearsal. From 2 to 3, we have lunch. And then from 3 to 5:15, which runs into 5:30, we rehearse again. And then we do it all over the next day, the next day, the next day. And then like when we go on the road, we're very in and out. She likes to keep us busy. Like, we'll come in 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You have to be up at 9 o'clock a.m. to do a tech that goes from 10 to like 3. Sometimes you have to do everything all on the same day. So you go home, you go to the hotel, you get about 2-3 hours of rest, and then you hit the show. Next morning, back on the bus, back to Dayton or back to the next gig. So it kind of rolls. And sometimes we have rehearsal on tour, and we have class. Depends on what piece needs work, or if she feels like we need a class to kind of get ready. All of us dread it because we're like so tired and stuff. But it helps. You get in class, you might be like, man, I'm really off my leg today, which makes sense. You've been on an 18-hour bus ride, and traveling all over the place. But at night, when you're like, okay, I'm feeling myself, I'm on my leg. So that's like a common day that we do. And then after work, a lot of people teach and do their second jobs and stuff. I don't teach after work because it's just too much. Going to the babies after getting the stick thrown at me, it's like I can't do it, But on off time, I do the teaching and the choreography and the guest gigs. So I might make $11,000 or $14,000. It's not a lot of money at all. But in your off time, I can make double what I make in 2 weeks in 1 week. So it kind of, it keeps going. But if you pay your dues, and you can really reap, the benefits, and do a piece and get 20 grand. Like those choreographers like Bill T. Jones, and commit works that are very classic, like Las Deslumbradas by Elio Primari, or Ran Around My Shoulder, Donna McHale, Vespers by Ulysses Dove. When those works are brought out, those aren't cheap, those aren't little checks. Those are big checks, but that's of course over time, and the piece had to, I guess, kind of saturate to become classics like that. But people teach because they need, some people love to teach, but they do because they need to, a second source of income, especially when you get laid off. It kind of suffices, because usually in the teaching world you have, some people teach at like academies that are focused more towards, like when I was coming up, I went to Joseph Holmes Chicago Dance Theater, which was our ALE of Chicago. And they had a training school, but it was in 2007, we did a project called Colorography, which were based off of the paintings of Jacob Lawrence, who was a prolific painter who did a Harriet Tubman series, and Migration of the Negro, and the migration of the blacks going from the South to the Midwest. And so we did 35 cities. So we were gone a lot. So when we do the project-based ones, it's more of a seller than just pulling pieces out of the rep. And Dayton Contemporary has one of the best reps in the nation, in the world. We have over 250 works that go from a piece that's ballet influenced all the way to a piece that's heavily African influenced, all the way to like hip hop. It just ranges. And we have almost every choreographer that you could think of. Bill T. Jones, Elio Primari, I've worked with Bill T., Elio, Rennie Harris, Reggie Wilson, Tally Beatty, Donna McHale, Anna Sokolow. We have Jose Limon. We have a Paul Taylor piece. We have, the list just goes. B.B. Miller. It just goes on and on. Jawale, Urban Bushwomen. It just goes on and on and on.
So you have
Doug Verone.
You have to be very
versatile. You have to be very versatile. And that's the reason why I joined the company in the first place. I didn't want to really dance for one person. Even when I was dancing with Erica, there was still versatility in it. Even though it was one choreographic voice, each piece was still different. So I was still getting, what I needed. It wasn't just all one style. It was a style, but it was different concepts in that style. As to a style and kind of like the same, you have to be consistent in exercises. You have to allow yourself time to rest. You have to ice when you have to ice. You can't get lazy with it, because if you do, it might come back. And usually they say when one side goes out, the other's gonna act up. You know, so if your calf muscle is hurting on the left, you know, don't be surprised if this one starts. So you really got to be careful. Massage. I have all type of little trinkets and apparatuses, and I'm tiger bombing all the time. You know, who's in the class earlier?
Yeah, it was fabulous in the class.
You know, tiger bombing and just making sure that I'm ready. And then the other thing is that, you know, when you're injured, it's kind of hard because, you know, when you work hard as a dancer and you have a certain, you have a certain type of pride, you know. Like, I don't think I rarely, if I was hurt, she would rarely know the system. Went to Whitney Young, where Michelle Obama went, yeah. But, you know.
Have questions, guys?
What about nutrition?
Good question. When I got into dating contemporary, I was about 10 pounds heavier than I am now.
No.
Yes. It's 175. And when he told me, he was just like, we need you to, you know, shed. He said, we like our guys' tone. And I was like thinking, when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, everybody's gonna be like Hercules, and I'm gonna be a big old jelly bean, you know. But when I got there, I was like, tone, right, all right, you know. But you do want to watch, you know, you can't be eating like fast food all the time.
Chips.
You know, as I got 2 chicken snackers yesterday, but don't tell. But you know, you try to watch what you eat.